FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
This hour, though, our guest is Christopher Harris. He is the founder of Unhyphenated America. Chris, how are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, Mark. I'm doing well.
Good to have you on. Saw you on the Kelly file a while back, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
So
that was an interesting conversation, yes.
Well, it's great to have you on the air here. Just wanted to, first of all, tell people what Unhyphenated America is all about.
Mark, we're an organization that believes that America's best when it's unhyphenated. And that basically means if you understand and believe and embrace the principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and of course that means limited government also, then you're an American, and then there's no need for any hyphens. You're just an American. So, I don't refer to myself as an African American. I'm black, obviously, right? But I'm an American. My family's been in this country since 1752.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you. I guess I'm not a Franco-American.
Oh, exactly.
So,
it's kind of ridiculous to start dividing people based on those superficial things.
Let me play real quick one of the bites from Donald Trump's speech last night in Wisconsin.
I'm asking for the vote of every African-American citizen struggling in our country today who wants a different and much better future. It's time for our society to address some honest and very, very difficult truths. The Democratic Party has failed and betrayed the African-American community.
Now, I've heard politicians make this argument before. I've heard the statistics that support his argument there. The vast majority of African Americans are still going to vote, I believe, for Hillary Clinton. But what did you make of Donald Trump's speech last night, particularly the portion of it that he aimed toward blacks?
Well, I think it's 100% accurate. There was a statement that Charles Barkley has made, and he's been quoted for it by it several times, where he said that black folks have been voting Democrat. Poor blacks have been voting Democrat for 50 years, and they're still poor. And also, it's kind of that's the very definition of insanity, to continue to do the exact same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So, yes, that's one thing. I'm glad that he's made those overtures. Now, the numbers are not going to, when we talk about the overall numbers, they're not going to shift in his favor. It's not like there's going to be a wholesale shift of blacks, African Americans, if you will, in this conversation to Donald Trump, the Republican Party. But here's the thing. He doesn't have to get the majority of blacks. Really, you only need about 15%. If you get 15% of blacks, African Americans, what have you, not voting for Democrats lose in a landslide.
Well, I hear him make this argument, and I guess I want to hear him take it to the next level, because I have Christopher Arps on my show from MoveOnUp.org sometimes, and
we're friends.
Yeah, and he's explained to me that a lot of the black people that he's been associated with in his life have conservative values, but they don't vote that way when they go to the polling place.
Well, the number one issue is racism. Or the perception. Let me clarify that. The number one issue is the perception of racism. If you have a conversation with the average black American, what you're going to hear is conservative value. We all know, and here's the thing I do, Mark. I go on TV or I go on radio, and I basically kind of put a face and a voice to the very same things that we all talk about privately. We know about the miscreants within our community, the very small minority who are loud and active, who are going out there doing dirt. We all know that the Ray and Pookie and them and all those who are out there burning cars and looting and so on and so forth, we all know about them. And generally, we're all universally disgusted by them. The problem is that we're trapped by this whole perception of blackness, that this whole idea that if we don't hang together, then we'll all sink together. And that's utterly false. What's sinking us are the ones who are burning, cars and looting in Baltimore and Ferguson and Milwaukee, and they need to be, cast off. They need to be cast adrift. if they are either brought under control or cast adrift. But yes, black folks overall are very conservative. We're not pro-gay, right? I mean, we also understand that it takes hard work. We have family members, extended family members, who we know are gaming the system. And I jokingly but seriously refer to them as your cousin and them. And that's just a little term if you have some Southern background. You know, it's your cousin and them, but it kind of mashed together as your cousin and them. But, yeah, we all have those cousins who act the fool, who game the system, and we're all universally disgusted by them.
Sure we are. And you know, anybody who has relatives in Appalachia has some cousins in them who probably game the system. I know that. So just as a reminder for folks who may have just tuned in, we're talking to Christopher Harris, who is the executive director of Unhyphenated America. The website is unhyphenatedamerica.org. Christopher, when you're talking to African Americans and you're describing what conservatism is, how do you define that?
Well, I'm always referring to somebody, and I call him that dude. That's my little term of affection and admiration for somebody. But I refer to that dude, Booker T. Washington. And I like to kind of give historical perspective as well as biblical perspective on the fact that, you know, in the 100 years post-slavery, post-emancipation, during some of the most virulent racist period of the Jim Crow era, we actually progressed more. We've actually been regressing ever since we adopted this leftist philosophy, the Marxist-Leninist philosophy of what I call African Americanism as a culture that's different from the culture of American blacks. And so I point out the successes that we had, and I'm not saying that, hey, we need to go back to dealing with more overt racism in order to be successful, but there's simple truth out there, Mark, that resistance actually helps to make you stronger. Why do we go to the gym? We go to the gym and we push against things, and we get that resistance training to make our muscles stronger. Well, what the left knew to do, and this is what President Lyndon Johnson, who was a Democrat obviously, knew to do, was stop pushing, stop trying to hold them down, actively hold them down, passively hold them down by giving them everything they want, and they'll go fat and happy and lazy. And that's exactly what's happened to a large percentage of basically the African-American community, because those of us who are American blacks, we understand this, and we still head to the gym, and we lift weights, and we get stronger. We're not sitting on the couch getting fat and happy by collecting welfare and all these other entitlement programs that just make us weak. And so I point out the fact that all the great progress that you've seen within the community of descendants of slaves came from a philosophy that said, be conservative, have a strong nuclear traditional family, right? Have a personal relationship with Christ, understand Judeo-Christian morality, have a work ethic. All these things, when you have those social aspects, it leads to the stronger economic aspect. But we make the mistake of the Marxist idea of focus on political and thinking that the political will create the economic, which is somehow supposed to help the social. But that doesn't work. That's bass backwards, as my dad would say, right? It just doesn't work. You have to start organically, and organically is the social aspect, which is the husband-wife, relationship, raising kids in a strong nuclear family, teaching them the basics of economics, and obviously teaching them how to be good, decent human beings, and you will be more successful in the society. All we have to do is look at other ethnic groups. Mark, I'm sorry for running on with this.
No, go.
This. I like to point out just realities. It's like, if we're going to talk about the evil white man, right, the evil racist white man, I always kind of ask that question: do you think that the evil racist white man hates blacks more than he hates Asians? Because if we're talking about this evil racist white man that you think is your boogeyman, he hates everybody who's not white. So you're telling me that he lets Asians get ahead, but he's like, I'm going to focus all my energy on keeping black folks down, but I'm going to let Asians get ahead. And by the way, Asians are getting ahead. They're actually passing white people academically, financially. Well, it's because they keep their families intact. They focus on the goal. So you can't blame it on racism, and you can't blame it on this evil white man out there, this cabal of people who are out there just trying to keep black folks down. It's a mindset.
Christopher, I would listen to Trump last night, and I know a lot of union members, color's irrelevant, who've said they're voting for Donald Trump because they think he's going to bring jobs back to America. Could there be a greater impact in the inner cities than more jobs, which would create more income opportunities? I mean, it strikes me that a vote for Hillary Clinton is a vote to continue the status quo, and the past 7 years have been unequivocally bad for African Americans economy-wise. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's if your focus is on, which I think the economics is the wrong focus, or the wrong primary focus. But if your focus is on economics, well, all you have to do is look and see what the left has done. I mean, we need energy in this country, okay? If we want to grow this country, if we want to grow the economy of this country, we need energy. Guess what we have plenty of? Oil, natural gas, and coal. Look at what this administration has done to the coal industry. They've decimated it. We're now actually since the past year or two, we're starting to have to import coal from Russia. Oh, my God. We have coal coming out the yin-yang through the Appalachian region, but we're closing down the coal mine, killing these jobs that in some of those areas, that was the only industry in the area. So you're killing off whole segments of American society, and we're importing stuff that we have plenty of here. What sense does that make?
No, it doesn't make any sense at all. Christopher Harris, appreciate you giving us some time. Your website is unhyphenatedamerica.org. I encourage people to go there and check it out, and I look forward to having you on again.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Great talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Good conversation with Chris, and hope you'll check out his website. Some good links to articles on there. Some funny stuff I think you're going to find. So check it out, please.